Here I am, back for another video. I know I haven't uploaded in a while and I kept saying I was gonna do it and I never fucking did it. Just blame my laziness and my busy schedule. I have a lot going on. I'm trying to make sure I don't fall behind on anything in life because my work and university always comes first. So I'm just trying to do my best. Now, I'm making this in my free time because during my normal free time, there's two things I do. I either debate on fictional stuff, which is a waste of my time, I have to admit, or I just play games with my friends and read. Well, that's actually three things, but ignore that. So, to explain the video title, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. I'm only talking about maybe 60 to 70% in the community. There's that 30-40% that are good. Now, the other percent, they do not freaking read at all. They just go onto these wikis, if they even do, because most of the time they just go off of word of mouth, and they make these outrageous claims. They go off of videos that they've seen, like Guess Who's video, where he tries to explain stuff about Type Moon and the world building behind it and the power levels, and it was horribly made and explained, and it was very obvious it was agenda based. I mean, he's always been a sort of dude that has not understood power scaling at all, and she's just very full of himself for someone that has a hard time interpreting the content in front of him. And that's a common theme among the community, and I would actually say, argue, that it's all communities that have this issue for power scaling. I mean, we see this often. I mean, look at AG, for example. He reads God of War, and he'll somehow interpret Kratos cutting a tree as boundless. I mean, this is the type of shit. He doesn't understand the definition of what a boundless thing is. Someone like Kratos is not freaking these random tears he throws around. I mean, we have people that will throw stuff like Shinji Mato defeats all of DC Comics, random shit like that. And half the time you're wondering, is it rage bait or are they just stupid? Are they stupid people? And I will have to tell you, it's a mix of both. And I'm just, I try my best to ignore it because I'm the type of person that would rather debate someone who's smart and lose. Because if you lose, that means the person had a better argument and they will convince me that I am wrong. And I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. Now, arguing with stupid people, it goes on and on and on and on. They'll circle back to the same point over and over again. Like you'll tell them the sky is blue and it is warm today. It is 70 degrees outside. And they'll say, well, actually, that's cold. I don't agree with you. It feels warm to me. No, it's not. That's the type of arguments that'll go on. And I will just say this to anybody that has a brain here. Do not argue with these people. They are just idiots. And this video is going to show some of the people in the community that show off these traits of being dumb. And I do this not to shame the people. It sounds like I'm trying to shame the people. That's not the intent behind it. It's just kind of pointing out the issue in specifically this community that I'm in, because it's no good. And I think people really, if you don't read all the content, that's okay. I mean, Type Moon has dozens of things, each having multiple light novels, stuff not being complete. There's a lot of stuff that's very vague in the material. It's not just to cut in real quick, I just looked it up to confirm my statement. There is 172 works in Type Moon. Just wanted to clarify that. And that's not even talking about all the events and stories inside of Fate Grand Order itself, which is well over, that is 50 stories at least in Fate Grand Order, so you could probably add on to that number. Anyways, back to the video. Not an easy thing to power scale, and it's certainly not an easy thing to fully understand. I mean, it's just it's something very complex, and someone is not going to easily understand it. And with the release of Fate Strange Fake, the full show, we have gotten a lot more people in the community. And now we're starting to, as a result of the popularity we're getting from Yen Press, Fate Prototype, Fragments of the Sky manga. Just the 8 chapters they released, not the whole light novel, sadly, which would have been better and would have sold better, but it's our first English translation official in a real long time. And that kind of tells you the direction and how much popularity the series has gotten overall. Now, I'm going to get to the point because I've spoken long enough about the other positive things. It's time to focus more on the negative aspects of the community. So, I'm going to first go off of this tier list I got sent from a friend of mine. Now, I will be sure to put the credits of every single person that I have seen that has sent all of these to me because I, of course, I would say a good 70% of these that I'm going to show have were not from me. They are people that have experienced these issues, like Durga, or Kai, whatever you want to call him. He constantly changes his name, so it's very hard to pinpoint him. I'm not a fan of it. And I've had Ether send me things. I have stuff from myself. I just have a few people. So I'll be sure to put in the end credits to those people. Now, to start it off, we got this top 10 list of Type Moon characters. Now, number 10, Enkidu. That already off to a bad start, and you can see the justification here, and it's like, whoa, this is just, this is no good. It, the bet, this is already bad start. Let's go to number 9, Karna. Wow, somebody who, in his strongest form, stronger than when he was alive, had a high diff fight with God Juna. Number 9. Okay. Number 8. Saber. Holy LARP. If anybody actually read the content or at least watched the anime, they would know that her name is Arturia Alter, or that's what I like to call her. Now, of course, that's not the official translation, but that is what the community had as her name for quite a while. Now, the almost unbeatable conceptually. Where the hell are we getting this? Who gave him this information? Interesting. Very interesting. This person does know that she was terrified of Safar. She has no place in the top 10 list for Type Moon. And that's not even her on the picture, by the way. Tiamat. We're really having her. Out of all the beasts you can pick for top 10, she is the one you pick. Not cooking. Gotia? No. Gilgamesh alive? No. Oh, shit. Solomon? 3. Now, seems like the person who shared this with me didn't do the screenshots correct. That's very nice, so we can't see the full explanation. But I can see at the bottom the most powerful human in the entire Nasuverse. Very interesting statement. I don't even know what to say for that. Number 2, Archetype Earth. I can get behind that. It's kind of like interchangeable whether you want to put or ORT, however you want to say his name. It's interchangeable. I would personally put ORT above her because he just had better physical stats, better feats. He just overall performed better for someone who was in a much weaker form. But then again, we've never, we still haven't seen the full extent of her character. And finally, Void Shiki. Okay. Now, the last two, not the worst, but the explanation behind it were not good, and everything else about this list was horrible. This person needs to get out of only reading, not reading. He just watched the anime. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm just looking at this. This screams anime only watcher. I mean, the top 10 characters from the Fate anime license, and it's like, okay, Archetype Earth never appeared in an anime, and let's see, she didn't appear in the anime at all. So, overall, bullshit list. All servants are high 1A. Are we? No, absolutely not. Are we gonna try to argue Anderson is gonna be high 1A? Come on. This is some stupidity. Now, here is something from Ether. This was from Reddit. Now, prepare yourself. These people are obese apes. So they're kind of like have mold under their titties. So they're not the smartest people. Let's get a look at this. I already gave you my source, and Nasu himself made it clear as day what the peak of the verse is star level. Never happened. ORT has no other confirmation that it goes above stellar class, even when it regains the core. So this just tells me right here, everything he says here is irrelevant because if you would have actually, read Lost Belt 7, you would see it says clear as day that when he's activating that he hits satellite class, which is above stellar class. That is, and they say he keeps going above satellite class. He's going up and up and up. And this is without the core. So this is some nonsense he's already saying. And Maris' strongest attack is a star level supernova. Or had attacks that were supernovas, but I don't know where he's talking about Maris. I mean, it's obvious he doesn't fucking read, so what good is it? Best feat, blatantly destroying a moon replica. Crimson Moon, it said that he threw a whole entire moon at him. I don't. replica, I guess, would work, but that does not make it any weaker than he actually is. So I don't know what point he's trying to make there, and that's not his best. I mean, he has quite a bit of powers that he can do. He's pretty high up there, and Crimson Moon was someone that was above every single vampire. So your argument's very interesting. And Nasu was also the one that greenlit the statement that Earth itself is not some multiverse, but it was simply a celestial body that developed a sentience to actually fight back against something that could and will destroy it. Earth is not special at all with that. I mean, it's special with having textures. It's the only one that's known to have textures. And textures are made clearly that they're their own timeline and it kind of Earth. Its texture is not limited to like, oh, just the Japan. It's just Japan. There's never been anything that said that. So whenever people try to argue about textures, like, there's nothing that has said otherwise about it at all. And it is a form of multiverse, but it's not something. It's a little bit different than the usual one. And I'm kind of simplifying it here because I don't want to make this video too long trying to explain it. But that's already wrong, and he never greenlit a statement, so he's just pulling shit out of his ass. And so it, it's not the only one with sentience. It's already confirmed that every single planet in the solar system has an ultimate one in sentience, evident by angel notes, where all of the ultimate ones, the types, come and attack the remaining humans that are I evolved in a way. And they lose, of course, but they've already said it was the whole solar system, and we get more explanation in Ordell Call. I believe it was 3, where they spoke about world eggs and how planets are born, and it is like a extremely small chance of a planet being created. So it's 99% of it, every single planet having an ultimate one. And going by how many planets we currently know in real life are around us, you could technically say that, like, there are millions. The top million of type moon is just only ultimate ones. But I would never try to argue that because, I mean, just go off of what you've actually heard about. Like, I don't want to put in a tier list type Pluto and Saturn and Venus, even though we heard about them in Angel Notes. Angel Notes is like 8 pages. So I would never use it in a tier list, but I mean, they all have the same physiology and like baseline hacks. So you can kind of put them relative, but like eh, ORT has had better feats than Archetype Earth. So it's kind of tricky to scale them. Now, I'll obviously put those two at the top, but they're just something that's unkillable even with the mystic eyes of depth perception. So anybody below that list, they just have no chance. I mean, they've never been successfully killed, and this person's just talking out of their ass. Take it to Nasu. Nasu is right now turning his head, asking, why are you talking on his name?" Now, that's that. And let's go down to this. I forget who sent this to me. Alright. It's a guy from my server called Neko. He's a chill guy. This is a Babylonian absolute demonic front tier list. Gilgamesh Archer. Number one. Are we serious? It was made very clear that they could not beat Tiamat until King Hassan it deranked her beast class Saint Graph to a lower one and also gave her the concept of death. At that point, she was unkillable, unbeatable. So, this is an anime only. Irrelevant. This is the type of people that I'm talking about. Let's see. Anastasia is stronger than Durga and Kali. Oh my god. He 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 said yes to that. Durga, the person that can destroy half the planet just fighting a person as a oopsie. Very interesting. I'm very interested, but that's interesting. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what is going to be debated. So I have been dealing with this person that has been harassing a friend of mine. He's just going on to his post being a goon, and when he was in the server just talking about his takes, him and like five of his buddies were attacking him, and he said he didn't want to debate, and they just continued attacking how he felt on the series. So he DM'd me and told me about this because he wants some help, which is valid. If multiple people are attacking you, you're you have the right to ask someone to help you. And so I took a look, and these were people that do not like the Gilgamesh is not like top five in their minds. Now that's obviously not what they said, but they are upset by statements from some of the bigger Type Moon YouTubers saying he's not in the top 20. So this just kind of gets you in the mind of how these people are. And so we look at their arguments, and so part of it was deleted. I have some screenshots, but a big chunk of it was deleted because on his original post, we were having an argument under someone else's comment, and they deleted it because I guess they didn't want the notifications anymore because it was like close to 30 comments, and so they're finally like, fuck this. So I have some of the screenshots, and they, him, one of the comments they made is Gilgamesh is stronger than Space Ishtar, and that really, there's three forms of her, three different things, so you got to be more specific than that. And he claims, oh, in the event, they Gilgamesh beat her. Gilgamesh was never in the Servant Verse event with her, so that was a very interesting ass pull. So I of course called that out. And in another post that my friend made here, he had Grand, Solomon versus the Lost Belt King Morgan, and it had her full kit and his full kit. And so in the comments, one of the same people that's part of the same group that attacked him, that is somehow on his channel, they were they just brought up a random, no correlation thing, Grand Gilgamesh slams. And so I think it was Apollo. He said something like, it just said something back to him that like fodder, and it just kind of went and snowballed into a stupid debate with him that went nowhere. And so I, it's you can check the debate out for yourself. I'm not going to try to reread everything, so I'm going to give my counter arguments here. So they try to say that Grand Gilgamesh, they try to hype him up as something that he isn't. And the way Grand Saint Graphs work is they're just a rank above normal servants. They're better, but they're not that much better. They are just increased in ranks and their stats, and that's it. They're just meant to take on beast class characters. And most of the time, well, I would say 99% of the time, they cannot take on a beast by themselves. There's never been a case of them doing it, ever. And I don't even think one can. I think the only one that has a possibility might be Solomon. If I would give it to anyone, it might be him. Or, actually, I don't agree. Just Solomon. The more I'm thinking about it, that's the only person who I think would have a chance of beating. But I don't think he can beat every single one individually. Now, they make up some headcanon, and so I want to show you guys something. This here, since they were speaking a lot about Grand Gilgamesh, which his nickname is Gilgamesh Naked, and this is since there's no profile for him in Fate Grand Order at all, because he cannot be summoned at all. Here is on the Type Moon Wiki all the information you have on the character. Abilities, all it says is that he's becoming serious, stripping away his arrogance, and that's it. There's nothing really to it. You're looking at just the meat of the sandwich. There's nothing, and you see the only information we ever got on him was in an interview for the Fate Stay Night sequel. So I didn't know about this because I read the stories. I don't know every single of Nasu's statements. So I went and I took a look myself and I found it. And here it is. This just speaks about how at the end of the sequel, they call him that he stripped naked of his personality as a king and how he's like the oldest great heroic spirit of humanity. That's it. It speaks nothing about his power increasing at all. It's just this. Now, if that's the only thing you have on the grand version, that's a nothing burger compared to the CCC version of him, or the correct name being MMC, a mythological mystic code Gilgamesh. That is the correct name for it, but for argument's sake, I will call it CCC Gilgamesh. That is the most powerful one because at that moment, that Gilgamesh was given full power inside of the moon cell to change his stats however he wants. And this was multiple servants are capable of doing that in this story. You just choose who you want it to be. And it's made very clear that he was given all the power that his body can handle. Now, not his sync graph, his body, because in this game, he is his own class. The class is called, get ready for it, Gilgamesh. It's not called Archer, Caster, Grand. He is his own class, which is very interesting. Now, of course, this is from him, so do we know the truth behind it? No, but the game classifies him as his own class. So he's a very unique servant in this game. And so we see with his power that he was just stated to be equal to BB with the power. And so that was very interesting. And they even say his seal has been broken. It just everything about him is improved in every single way. He's giving unlimited mana. Now, his original form in the Age of Gods, he did not have unlimited. So that would make it very clear he is given the most power he can possibly ever have. And we see him, do the fight in the game, the boss fight, and we don't even beat BB ourselves, but it's made very clear in the narrative it's a high diff fight, and she gets consumed by Kiara. So the fight is never finished, but it's made very clear they're equal, and it was not a easily slapping the shit out of her. And so it kind of puts a limit on, hey, he is not as strong in his alive version as you think. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen him alive, quote unquote, in power. We kind of see it, but there's some things to it, more context. In Fate Stay Night, he is alive, but there's a lot going on with the Grail mud. It's just if they would have actually touched the content they made, and one of the guys admitted that he only read part one of Fate Grand Order, the Strange Fate novels, and claims Stay Night, but I believe all of that's a lie because we then see so it was an argument of Morgan versus Gilgamesh, right? And so the first thing they argue with is that, oh, the statement of he is the strongest heroic spirit. Well, the strongest heroic spirit has lost every single fight in normal Grail Wars, but I'm not gonna go on that. But they go on to say that and use a translation which I found very interesting that says it's the strongest noble phantasm, Enuma Elish. So I found one translation here, and you can even look at the kanji. It says that it's equal to or surpassing that of King Arthur's Excalibur. And that's speaking about the one inside of Fate Stay Night. This is not speaking about the one from Lost Belt 6, which was confirmed at the end of the story to be much more powerful than the original one. So that just tells you right there that they are hyping up something that is a nothing burger. And to further add it on, I found it interesting. The person who posted this, they don't use the official in-game translation. Instead, they use something from one of the game wikis where they have a fan translation that they quickly try to release when the profiles come out. So they tend to make mistakes. And if you find in the official translation, it says that it is one of the most powerful. Now, if you know basic English, you would know that one of the means one of many, multiple. It does not say one is the most powerful. That would mean it's single. That's the first, number one, most. But that's not how English works. And they lack proper middle school English. So we look at that, and then I decided to take a look. And so one of them in their argument said, oh, Gilgamesh can use clairvoyance and easily figure out her abilities, like the water mirror that will counter all of the stuff. Yes, he does have clairvoyance, but he makes it very clear multiple times he does not use them. It spoils the fights. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't like it at all. And it's been made very clear because he did not see in Strange Fake him getting fucking killed. He took that serious as well because Enkidu was in that fight with him. That was the first Grail War where he was taking shit seriously. And these people, they cannot understand the narrative that is put in front of them. And the reason they aren't is because their pig-headedness. They just are selective on what supports their argument. And you can see here that their story does not support them at all. It doesn't. They're fucking talking out of their ass. And so we look at all of the information we've gotten, and it's like, okay, so we got a number. Now, this guy claims to have read Fate Stay Night, but in both the remaster and this, it's given a number for the magical output. 4,000. The magical output for this fucking weapon is 4,000. Which is damn interesting, because if that's 4,000, and so we take a look at Morgan's spear, and in Camelot Singularity, they say one of her spears has an magical energy value of over 3 million. And she has a dozen spears. A dozen. So do the math. You cannot be this stupid. I can understand you're not going to know every single dialogue line, but at this point, why even bother? 36 million. That is how much for her weapons. And that is not even including the other arsenal she has. Her water mirror was compared to true magic, some of the most powerful stuff in the verse. It's like, what are you doing? It's not this hard to read. And I'm here sitting here like these people, they're dumb. They're dumb. They just say, "Oh, Age of Gods, Potential Man." It's JJK Potential Man arguments, and I just I stopped responding to this one guy in my comments that right before I recorded this video because it was pointless arguing with him. And these people, they have no brains at all. And I'm just I think I learned better. These people, inferior. You could see here in their server, I got this from a friend of mine, and he was the one that was getting harassed on his post, Kai. He got these for me, and he showed me this, and they're talking about me being fucking arrogant and talking out of my ass and LARPing. These fucking people. You see these photos I provided? They have not provided a single fucking one, even when they were on Discord. And all that tells me is they are fucking stupid. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're just LARPing. They're nobodies. They are amounting to nothing in this discussion. And this is a shame. Whenever these people outside the comm talk about us, they associate these idiots. These idiots. And this one has the gall to call me subhuman. And I find that very interesting when I asked this guy before, I asked him, condemn the country in the Middle East that allows child marriage. And he refused to. And he had the audacity to try to say that my server sends around lolly stuff, which no one has ever done that. And you're just pulling shit out of your fucking ass, trying to call me something because you're a loser. And it just shows these people losers. They can't fucking argue, so they just resort to the craziest shit they can do. And now, I think that's about it. My next video is going to be covering one dude from Versus Battle Wiki that has been banned that was causing a lot of problems over the past year for getting the route to tier 0. And then after that, I should be covering Guess Who's videos. And I will try to get those out quickly for Guess Who. And he's going to be a lot easier than you think to debunk. But I want everybody to have a good day. And I'm going to go play some Arc Raiders with my friends. Have a good day and good night to whoever's watching this. Share this, support it, comment, do what you need to help support me. Subscribe, share it around. Show people what this community is and try your best to improve it. If you haven't read the content, just don't put others down for it. And that's exactly what these people all throughout this video did. And they have no place in the community at all. Alright, have fun, everyone.